Greetings, everyone, and welcome back to The Real Work Show. I'm Mark Godair, and very, very excited to be with you and having another awesome conversation, finding out what work is really like, not just what you think it might be like or what people told you it's like, but from the voices, from the mouths of the actual people that do the work. Today, we've got a really, really interesting session talking to someone that works as a data engineer. And you may be thinking, what the heck is a data engineer? If so, you've come to the right place. Data is a hot topic these days. That's probably no big surprise. You probably hear about lots of different roles of data scientist and data analyst. Data engineer may or may not be one that you're familiar with. So it's going to be a really, really interesting conversation. And who knows, maybe you or someone you know, maybe this is going to be that sweet spot in terms of a career. How's it going, Todd?
Good. How are you? I'm
doing fantastic. Todd's with us for this interview. Really, really excited to have your time today. Thank you, sir.
Thanks for having me.
Hopefully you're not going to be overly intimidated by the lightning round. Hopefully you're ready for it.
Hopefully, I'm sure I'll be okay.
It's kind of fast and furious. It's all about 15 questions in 5 minutes. We're going to have fun and learn everything we can about what it is to be a data engineer. Ready to rock?
Let's do it.
Okay, I'm going to start the clock. What is a data engineer?
I build things. And so what a data engineer does is build pipelines that get data from A to B in short essence.
Awesome. So on a typical day, how much of your time would you spend on your own working with other people?
If I'm working at a project with a team, then, most of my time will be spent working with other people, whether it's maintaining that pipeline or building that pipeline or what have you. But there's some clients where it's smaller and I'm doing all the work myself. So it definitely varies day to day. It's a little bit of mixture of both.
Cool. What causes stress in your work?
That's a tough one. I try to not to get stressed, but probably bureaucratic nonsense that gets in the way of me actually doing my work. That stresses me out.
Understood. What's one way that COVID has changed your work?
Not going into the office. I've been remote for 50 weeks. So it's totally remote now, which I think is good. It's awesome. I like working remote. I'd love to see my coworkers and everything, but right. It's accelerated the need for people to move on from being in the office.
What program did you do after high school in terms of education?
Yeah, I went to University of Calgary and I got a Bachelor of Science in pure mathematics.
Okay. What's one thing that surprised you when you started working as a data engineer?
This is going to sound really mean maybe, but there's people perhaps in university or school or maybe even work if you've never gone to university and done group projects because they're not very popular in high school, but there's people that are less of a contributor to that project, and those people still get jobs. So you have to learn how to work with those. I mean, in high school and university, usually you just manage to do it without them. But when it comes to work, you usually have to figure out how to work with those people, which can be challenging.
Cool. Okay. What software or equipment do you use on a regular basis?
Everything under the sun, Azure, any kind of BI tool, coding. Python's pretty much the big one right now.
On a typical day, what are 3 activities that we can find you doing as a data engineer?
So typical would be checking to make sure that there's no errors in any of the pipelines that I'm maintaining or building, working on building or maintaining new pipelines, and working with business users to try and figure out, what needs to be done for those pipelines to be built.
Okay. What's one business skill or soft skill that's been really, really helpful for you in your work?
I'd say people skills, honestly. You got to work with the people who want the data or the people who are supplying the data, either or. And just being a person and genuinely being nice and just having a conversation is important, especially if you're working with people over email. Really understanding and reading comprehension and trying to understand what they're saying is important as well.
Sure. Okay. What about one technical skill? I'm sure there's lots, but one technical skill that's really, really critical for the work you do.
Critical thinking.
Okay.
Easy. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if you'd classify that under technical, but I'm
Sure.
sure you could bake down many technical skills
Sure.
requiring that. So
Okay. What kind of person would not do well as a data engineer?
somebody who hates puzzles.
Okay. Okay. I won't apply. Technology moves really quickly. What's one thing that you do to keep current?
Ooh, I try and spend some time every week just going over technologies that I'm using and how they've been updated in the last little bit. Kind of what's the new developments that are happening within the last, weeks or months. So I
Okay.
try and take time to do that every week or two.
Okay. At the end of a day, what's a sign that you've been successful that day? You've had a good day at work.
I'm tired.
Okay. And what's one misconception someone might have about work as a data engineer?
I mean, the question I get asked a lot is kind of what's the difference between data engineering and data science. So if somebody doesn't ask that question and goes in with a misconception of, oh, well, I want to do data science stuff, like that's similar to data engineer, so they'll be the same. There'll definitely be similarities, no arguments there, but they're definitely not the same thing.
Not the same thing. Okay. Awesome. You survived, sir. Congratulations.
Yay!
No, that's good. Some of your answers were tantalizing. We'll definitely have to dive into some of that in our next conversation. So
Awesome.
that'll be interesting. I think this whole bit about what specifically does a data engineer do versus some of these other roles is going to be really, really interesting. Thank you so much for participating in the lightning round.
Yeah, no, that was fun.
And that's awesome. And for everyone that's familiar with the channel, be sure to check out the longer conversation. Data's hot. Data engineering is hot for those of you that are younger and we're looking to make a change in your career. And definitely you're going to want to check out this conversation with Todd. Todd, thank you so much, and we'll see you for the extended conversation shortly.
Thank you.